Working in a freezing cold workshop is miserable. Your hands go numb, the tools feel like ice, and you just can't focus. That's why a diesel heater is probably one of the best upgrades you can make. Now, a while back I fitted a cheap diesel heater in here, but I never actually made a video on it. Did the job, but it was noisy, not really the most efficient, and it always felt a little bit budget. So when HLN saw this and offered to send me one of their Aerolyn 4000 diesel air heaters for me to try out, I definitely wasn't turning it down. They supply a lot of the major truck manufacturers with their OEM heaters, so this is a proper heavy duty kit. I've already installed it in the workshop, so I'll walk you through the process and then we'll see how it performs. First off, why even go diesel? It's much cheaper to run than most electric heaters. It heats the space fast, so you're not waiting an hour or so before you can start working. And once it's running, it keeps a steady, comfortable temperature, which is an absolute lifesaver in the middle of winter. My old diesel heater was boxed in here, so I'm fitting the new one in the same place. The HLN heater comes with this decent steel mounting plate, but because I already had legs and blocks set up for my old heater, I used the old heater's plate, even though it was much thinner steel. This just bolts onto the bottom, much like the thicker steel plate would have. Next up, I'm increasing the size of the hole through the wall to fit the larger exhaust pipe. This exhaust is what I first noticed about the quality difference between the two. The old one felt like a cheap part, the new one felt almost like a car part. With a hole big enough to fit the new exhaust, I could cut it to length to suit my setup. This new heater comes with a much longer exhaust, which is really handy if you need to fit it slightly away from a wall. I then fitted the fuel pipe, which is much different to the old heater. It's a harder plastic but a smaller diameter, and it attaches to the base of the heater using a rubber adapter hose and clips. Another run of fuel pipe goes to the fuel tank pickup in the same way, and then you attach the heater to the pump and the pump to the tank. You get a really long length of fuel line in the box, so you can cut it to suit your needs. You could feel the quality difference in the pump just by the weight of it. It was about 3 times the weight of the old pump. Next thing to do is to attach the exhaust outlet and the air inlet pipes to the bottom of the heater using Jubilee clips. At this point I'm using the legs I mentioned earlier, which I didn't realise at this point were cracked. So they get scrapped for some blocks of CLS that are stuck together to lift the heater up away from the floor so it doesn't melt it. The heater outlet cap gets fitted through the OSB boxing in, ready to attach the ducting to the heater. I slot the fuel tank into place on top of the heater for now. I'm planning on upgrading this tank to a larger one at some point, so I may do an upgrade video where I fit the larger one. The fuel pump gets mounted at 45 degrees, as most of them do, and this just gets attached to one of the workbench uprights. At this point I realised I hadn't fitted the conduit to the fuel line, so I had to remove it all and fit this. So make sure if you're doing this, fit it first. The wiring on this heater does look really daunting because it's a large long loom, but the connectors are so simple. You can't really get these wrong because each connector is unique, so it's only going to fit the correct item. The cable then gets attached to the battery terminals, runs to the heater body, the fuel pump and the controller, and there's also a temperature sensor and a fuse in the wiring. I'm running a battery charger to my battery to keep it charged, but you could use off-grid power charging for this. I'm fitting my screen into the boxing in just above the outlet. I did have to add a piece of MDF as the hole from the old screen was too big for this new screen.
Yes, I did just put that on upside down, but we're good now.
The heater is then ready to turn on. I was expecting to have to manually prime the pump, but when I turned the control unit on, it seemed to initiate the priming procedure, so I just let it do its thing, and the fuel pump primed itself, ready for use. Once it was all done, it was time to fire it up. Straight away the difference from my old cheap unit is obvious. Even just pressing the control panel felt more premium. It's noticeably quieter, both the pump and the fan, and it feels a lot more solid. The heat output is excellent, and it definitely seems more efficient than the old one. Plus, there's some nice little features like Wi-Fi controlling, so you can control it from your phone. And I like the fact that you can just run the fan on its own if you want to ventilate the workshop without having to heat it. I used this quite a few times this summer after installing it. I could then get all of the boxing in fitted again, and the heater install was complete. So if you're spending hours in your workshop through the colder months, a diesel heater honestly transforms the space. And the difference in quality between this new unit and the cheap one is massive. To be honest, I didn't expect it to really be that much different, but it's like they aren't even related. I'll leave a link below if you want to check them out. If you want to see how I installed one of the cheap diesel heaters into a camper van, check that one out here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.